in the Farbrengen of Simchas Beis HaShe'eva, Tovshin Chov Dalet, the Rebbe spoke about what the Rebbe writes in Siddur, in the Gehe Bench Nesrig, that mitzvahs nitilose besuke mitzvah min amufcher, that you should bench esrik in the sukkah, and that is mitzvah min amufcher. That means that it's a better way of doing the mitzvah. So the Rebbe explained that the reason for this is because it's part of the mitzvah of sukkah. Since it says by sukkahs, Teish v'kein toduru, that you have to sit in the sukkah just like you live in the home, and that's why you have to eat and drink in the sukkah. So too, when you're going to do a special mitzvah, it should be done in the sukkah. And the Rebbe explained, from the Alter Rebbe's Loshen is mashma, that this is a din mitzat Lulav. It's a mitzvah min amufcher in the mitzvah of esrig and Lulav, but it's not because of the sukkah. So the Rebbe explained that what the Alter Rebbe means in addition, that this is a din in the sukkah. But in addition to that, mitzvah the mitzvah of Dalet Minim, it's also a mitzvah min amufcher to do it in the sukkah. By one of the meals, Harav Dubruskin, he was one of the guests that came for Tishrei that year. He was a Choshev Arov, and he was also invited to be part of the meal by the Rebbe in the Friedrich Rebbe's apartment. Those years, the Rebbe would eat in the Friedrich Rebbe's apartment, the Yom Tovim, and they would invite the Elter Chassidim or Choshev a guest. So he was one of the guests that was invited there. And by the meal, they would ask questions sometimes, and the Rebbe would answer. So he asked the Rebbe by the meal, and according to what the Rebbe said, that this is mitzat sukkah, that since sukkahs you have to live in the sukkah like you live in the house, so you have to do the important things in the sukkah. So the reason you bench esek is because it's part of the mitzvah of sukkah. So you should have to make a brocha leisha basukkah when you bench esek. So the Rebbe answered, so that's why it's kedai that you should eat right after you bench esrig in the sukkah. You should eat a piece of mezonos, and b'meila you will be making a leisha basukkah on the mezonos, and that'll go on the esrig also. So he asked the Rebbe, but this is before davening, as if saying, how could you eat mezonos before davening? So the Rebbe said, no, as if saying, nish gefährlich. Actually, I wasn't there b'shas ma'aseh, but I remember standing downstairs when the people from the meal came down and they told us over that this is what the conversation was. This is how the conversation took place. Now, later on, after Yontef, Yisrochag, Sukkot, there was always a kinus Torah that the Choshev Rabbonim, the guest, would speak a Seipel Pulim. So he was one of the speakers, and I remember his pilpul was, he asked the kasha, that what did the Rebbe mean that after you bench esrik, you'll eat mezonos, you'll make a leisha basukkah, so that'll go on the esrik too. The din by a brocha of a mitzvah is that you have to do the brocha, say the brocha before you do the mitzvah. Ever lasiyosam, before you do the mitzvah. And here you're going to say the brocha leisha basukkah that should go on the esrik afterwards. So his whole pilpul was that by the din of sukkah specifically, he brought rayas that we find that the brocha of leisha basukkah from later goes on before. The truth is that in Lekutei Sichos, in Chelik Chav Beis, when this Sicha was printed in this Mugya, in Pashas Emer, second Sicha to Emer, there it's not stressed so much that this is a din in the Sukkah. There it's more that this is a din in the Esrik. That it doesn't say so much a din in the Sukkah, but at the end of the Sicha it does mention that, and that's all based on this Farbrengen of Simcha Beis HaShe'eva. The Sicha is from that Farbrengen. And actually, the Rebbe did say that it's kedai to make a leisha basukkah by eating after the benching the esrik, to eat some mezonos and make a leisha basukkah. And I don't know if the Rebbe meant it should become a meaning like that, and I don't know exactly the loshen if he said that's how it should be or it could be if you want to could do, but definitely their teichen was there.